Yo, what's up, everyone? What's up? It's your boy Jordan Trask, back to another video here, and tonight we'll be doing sports talk here with Jordan. Talking about football and baseball and basketball and hockey, soccer and golf and boxing. Before I get it, before I get into this, we are moving on from the loss for the Chargers as they're 1-2 now. So we're gonna have to turn the next page and focus on next week's game against the Houston Texans. It's going to be a revenge game for our beloved football team, the Los Angeles Chargers, to go 2-2. And Justin Herbert needs to step up with his offense more because Keenan Allen is out again. I don't care about that. I don't care about the injuries for sure, and that's all. Yeah, because it's not a deal because the Chiefs lost and the Raiders lost too. But yeah, and honestly, it's a Sunday night game in Denver because the 49ers is beating the Broncos. And at the end of the day, the Chargers need to step up more pressure on it. Just like we won week one on 9/11 against the Raiders when we all did against the Raiders. Because the Chargers beat the Raiders in week one from September 11th is because we did beat the Raiders in week one. This is like we win for first responders to our good supporters of the United States, to our community of fire department and police department. And yeah, and next week it's going to be a good revenge tour between my Chargers and the Texans because Herbert and Mills is going at each other again. So that means it's another do-it matchup between Herbert and Mills. And that's why I saw the Texans lost to the Chicago Bears. Yeah, I saw the Bears beat the Texans. I picked Chicago over Houston. And yeah, I did pick the Bears over the Texans because Justin Fields is better than Davis Mills, of course. And yeah, at the end of the day, the Texans already they already lost again last week because the Texans are terrible. Like honestly, yeah. Um, from now on, it's not at the point because the Texans are not good, and then that's why they were tied up with Indianapolis, and of course. And last week they lost to Denver because the Texans weren't good because they lose to Russell Wilson and the Broncos, and of course. And that's why because if the Jaguars lose to Philadelphia, while my Chargers get the revenge game against the Texans with the 2-2 win to beat Houston in a revenge, then the Chargers are going back in the playoff spot to the playoff picture back in it. So I think the Chargers can possibly do this. And then next 2 weeks we can always beat the poverty franchise of the Cleveland Browns because of Deshaun Watson's investigation. But yeah, they have the quarterback Jacoby Brissett. But this week, because the Browns already beat the Steelers, it means my Chargers can go on to beat the Browns. And that's why I saw what happened to the Steelers with losing to Cleveland. I was going to pick the Steelers over the Browns, and it did not work. And that was all. So honestly, yeah. You know what? It's another loss to the Cleveland Browns from last week because the Browns are terrible. So that means no one cares about Cleveland. All I care is about the Chargers for next 2 weeks game against Houston and Cleveland. Like last year, like the Texans beat us, but yeah, last week we beat the Browns from week 5. It's another week 5 last year, back-to-back week 5 games between the Chargers and the Browns. It's between Justin Herbert and Jacoby Brissett. And yeah, Chargers can beat the Browns. Justin Herbert owns the Browns the first time in LA, but now he'll do it again in Cleveland when the Chargers beat the Texans in a revenge game in Houston. And yeah, because the Chargers might step up more to go 3-2 if we beat the Texans and Browns, and then go 4-2 if we beat Denver, or we go 3-3 if we lose to Denver, and then we go 4-3 if we beat Seattle, and then go on a bye week, and then week 9, 5-3 if we beat the Falcons, 5-4, or 6-3 if we beat the 49ers. And then at the end of the day, week 11, revenge game again against the Texans, but now it's the Chiefs. Yeah. In week 11, we take on the Chiefs again for our revenge game part 2 between the Chargers and Chiefs after Chargers-Texans game up in Houston and LA. And then week 12, we have the Cardinals because the Cardinals are never good. Then we got the Raiders again, a rematch from week 1 since we beat the Raiders in week 1. Then we get to have a season series sweep against the Raiders to go for the win. Yeah, probably go 7-3 or 6-4, and then we go 7-4, and then we 8-4, and yeah, it doesn't matter if we lose to the Rams or we beat LA against the Rams. We beat the Titans, and then we go on to beat Miami, and then going on to beat the Broncos and head in the playoffs, win the first Super Bowl. That is all. So that the Chargers, after going 4-3 from the bye week, 5-3, or yeah, 5-3. I'm right, 5-3, and then 6-3, or 5-4, and then 6-4 against Kansas City, and then 7-4, 8-4, and then 8-5, and then 9-5. Yeah, and week 16, 17, 18, we have the Colts, Rams, and Broncos to go 10-5, 11-5, and 12-5 to make the playoffs to win the division since 09. And yeah, you know what? I've been talking about it all the time because it's all the matterness. So yeah. So that means it's all about the Chargers going to the Super Bowl to win the first title ever in the franchise, like 1963 San Diego Chargers. Yeah. 1963 San Diego Chargers winning the first American Football League title since January 5th, 1964. And the AFL title of MVP was Keith Lincoln, our great running back and fullback for the Chargers, with Lance Alworth and our quarterback. But yeah. So yeah, Chargers about to go for a team to go 12-5 for my beloved Los Angeles Chargers to make the playoffs, win the division, and win the first Super Bowl with Herbert. And Derwin James, the future Super Bowl MVP, to win it all. And yeah, if it goes on. So yeah, and now we're going to have to talk about, while we keep talking about football, we're going to talk about baseball. Yes. And from our update of the baseball game, the Angels beat the Twins 10-3, and the Padres beat the Rockies 13-6. And good for Mike Trout, and good for Juan Soto. Love Juan Soto. The Soto Bros. Anaheim and San Diego. Levon and Juan. And yeah, so at the end of the day, the Angels lost again, and then the Padres ended up losing Friday. But yeah, so two teams won today, and then it was not about the winning and losing from Friday to Saturday. So yeah, Mike Trout took a home run, then it was Cronenworth that took the RBI and home run for San Diego. But yeah, the Padres fans were talking about, and then they were talking to a bunch of Cincinnati Reds fans who want to cheer on the Reds to beat the Brewers. What could have happened? Because since my Angels has one World Series ring for 20 years since 2002 when we owned the Giants, I think the Padres are going to be like my Angels for a 20-year challenge of winning the first World Series, like Tim Sam and David Eckstein. Yeah, everyone knows about David Eckstein, the former Angel and a former Padre, of course. And yeah, because Salmon and Garrett Anderson, Scott Spiezio, and John Lackey, and Troy Percival, and Mike Scioscia. And a former Angel baseball coach and manager, the former Angel and Padre Bud Black. And yeah, so that means it's up to the minute for San Diego, like Anaheim. And yeah, just like my beloved Los Angeles Chargers winning the first Super Bowl to have another 20-year challenge, 2002, like the Buccaneers and the Patriots, of course. Yeah, it's going to be like another 20-year challenge. And the Clippers, of course. We'll get to basketball while we keep talking football and baseball. Yeah, and it's like that for a good reason. So the Padres would probably get to clinch the postseason. Yeah, the Dodgers already won today, but the Yankees, yeah, honestly, yeah, the Yankees beat Boston 2-0 when they go on to beat the Red Sox because Eric Hosmer is a trash baseball player that got traded from San Diego to Boston with his old guy, Tommy Pham, and then Alex Verdugo. And I mean, of course, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like a 20-year challenge like football and baseball to my beloved teams, the Chargers, the Angels, the Padres. And of course, winning the Super Bowl and World Series could be like that. And American Football League title since 1963 to my beloved Chargers. And of course, yeah, and another day at the end of the day again, because the Angels has 3 series left against the Athletics twice, and then the Texas Rangers, and of course, yeah. And then the Padres, they have 3 games left against the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Giants before they make it to the postseason to clinch the postseason to a wild card. See, that's why the Braves clinched it too when the Phillies lose to Atlanta. Or if the Brewers get in, Philadelphia is out because Brewers might be eliminated from the contention of the postseason baseball. So, like in mine, my beloved Los Angeles Chargers and one-time AFL champion 1963 since January 5th, 1964, is going to win the first Super Bowl to a 20-year challenge like the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and 2001, 2002 New England Patriots, of course. And yeah, just like my Angels winning the first World Series since 2002 when we owned the Giants, the Padres could be like my Angels winning the first World Series champs to be a title town contender, evolved to another 20-year challenge. Isn't a good agreement. And yeah, my Angels could be like the Padres to a 20-year challenge, 2002 to 2022. And yeah, of course. And bring it up to 10 challenges, like the 2012 Baltimore Ravens and the 2012 San Francisco Giants and 2011, 2012 New York Giants. And yeah, of course, it's easy. And that could go good for greatness. For my Chargers, the Angels, and the Padres, of course. And yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, again, it's like that for a reason when the Padres go into the postseason, while my Angels are in the offseason. As my Angels has one World Series ring since 20 years, 2002 to October 27, 2002, when we owned the Giants by my Angels. And yeah, the Padres might play any World Series team. Like, Padres could play a rematch game to the Atlanta Braves in the wild card, and then probably have a World Series team to play. Like, the rematch from '98 was the Astros, the cheating Astros, and then the Yankees. Yeah, the Padres used to play the Yankees in the World Series in 1998 when they were swept, but I don't care. But yeah, honestly, the Yankees still own the Padres, of course. Or honestly, it could be the Padres and Mariners World Series first time in a meeting between San Diego and Seattle. Or here's another one: if the Padres play the Blue Jays. If it's going to be the Blue Jays, then San Diego and Toronto gets to play each other for the first time because they have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Yeah. You know what I mean? A fact about it, because it's like another World Series team that the Padres could play, but what about it? Or if it's going to be the Cleveland Guardians. If it's going to be the Guardians, then Mike Clevenger and Austin Hedges will face each other for the first time because they have Cal Quantrill, of course. And then yeah, because Austin Nola would probably go on like Adam Frazier and Ty France. Or if it's the Rays, if it's going to be Tampa Bay Rays, then the Padres, Blake Snell gets to face his former team because the Padres still have Francisco Mejia. Or if it's going to be anybody else. But yeah, Padres could face anybody in the World Series against the American League teams. It could be Yankees, Astros, a rematch from National League and American League 1998. And then the NL teams, the rematch with St. Louis and Atlanta or LA. They care. And then it could be the first matchup with the Philadelphia Phillies. And of course, yeah. And at the end of the day, again, the Padres were like Tony Gwynn and Ken Caminetti, Trevor Hoffman, of course. Yeah, and that's why it's going to be the Padres could play against anybody. Like, yeah, the Padres should play the Mets if it's the first matchup of the postseason between San Diego and New York, if it's acceptable. And honestly, it could be like Philadelphia, Atlanta, and San Diego with LA, and then Atlanta and New York, the Mets, of course. And yeah, after that, we're going to go with basketball. But first, we'll talk about hockey from the preseason hockey matchup. The Ducks win 3-2 in the preseason hockey matchup with the Coyotes in Tucson Arena, in Tucson Convention Center. Isaac Lundestrom took the lead for the Ducks, and then it turned out to a late goal by the Coyotes. Then they won 3-2 in Tucson. And then the Kings lost, except the Kings lost because Los Angeles Kings lost to the Sharks 3-2 with Couture's goal in overtime. And that means we accept the Kings lost. And of course, you know what? At the end of the day, again, because if it's going to be like, not honestly, but the fact, you know what? I have to tell the end of the day because it's another fact between the Anaheim Ducks and Los Angeles Kings when they go on and start playing against the Arizona Coyotes and San Jose Sharks, with the Anaheim Ducks preseason hockey win 3-2 and the Kings exception of a loss of preseason hockey 3-2 because Getzlaf retired and then Dustin Brown retired too, of course, because it's Trevor Zegras and Anze Kopitar, like whatever you got to know, all at the same time. Because Anaheim, I think the Ducks play the Kraken on opening night, and then the Kings, Los Angeles Kings, play the Vegas Golden Knights in a opening night game in Crypto Arena and at Honda Center too. Yeah, Ducks and the Kraken, the Kings and the Golden Knights. The battle for the castle is going to be Los Angeles Kings owning the Vegas Golden Knights. Every hockey game, when Los Angeles Vegas rivalry is like WNBA to the Las Vegas Aces LA Sparks. But yeah, congratulations to the Aces on their first WNBA Finals champion for the first time. Congratulations. I already want Connecticut to win, but it would never happen again. I mean, of course, it would never happen again for sure. And yeah, honestly, it was the last legacy for Sue Bird. But thanks to the legend Sue Bird for everything, because she is a forever Seattle Storm basketball player and girls basketball franchise, and that is all. And of course, yeah, from now on we're gonna have to keep talking about football, baseball, and hockey, but we're gonna have to talk about basketball, of course. And yeah, after we talk about the Anaheim Ducks beating the Coyotes in preseason hockey 3-2 in Tucson Arena and accepting the Kings' loss 2-3 at San Jose against the San Jose Sharks. And yeah, so the Clippers are ready for the 22-23 season because Kawhi's coming back. They is signed to capture John Wall on a contract with the Clippers. And yeah, John Wall has become the first Clipper player to join the Clippers franchise, and Paul George needed more work because the Clippers, they need to get back in the postseason spot in the playoffs to become a healthy Clipper to win the first NBA Finals title. And yeah, last year they swept the Lakers because the Clippers own the Lakers since 2010, and they own the Hornets too in 2010. And yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, it's like that before. And honestly, after basketball, while we keep talking about football and baseball, basketball and hockey, we'll go with golf and boxing, as there's a lot more updates with golf and boxing, and also, yeah, there's a lot more updates to come. And we'll talk about soccer because the Los Angeles Galaxy wins the Cali Classico match against the rival San Jose Earthquakes because Chicharito has took the goal for the Galaxy against the Earthquakes and won 3-2 in Stanford Stadium in San Jose in the Bay Area. And I could never say the Los Angeles Galaxy should make the MLS playoff. It's like Stanley Cup playoffs, of course. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's going to be the LA Galaxy that always wins the MLS Cup 5 times when they own the Revolution and they own the twice team of the Dynamo. And yeah, so honestly, it's going to be Chicharito and the Galaxy to make it back to the MLS playoffs because it's always a legacy to the priority franchise in the history of sports. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, you guys. It's your boy, Jordan Trask. Peace out. Let's go Chargers. Let's go Angels. Let's go Padres. Let's go Clippers. Let's go Ducks. Go Kings, go. And Vamos Galaxy. I'm out. Peace.